Please welcome two-time All-American Notre Dame running back Alan Pinkett. Now, you just heard Doug Flutie say he ran into Alan. Flutie was the MVP of that frigid Liberty Bowl, but Alan in that game on that icy field rushed for 100 yards and scored 2 touchdowns as Notre Dame beat BC in the future Heisman Trophy winner. How do you remember? I mean, I watched it on TV because I was anchoring from South Bend, but it even looked brutal on TV.
It's the coldest game I ever played in my life.
More than that Penn State game?
More so.
Wow.
In fact, after the first series, I tried to be brave and go sleeveless. And after the first series, which we scored, I came over to the sideline. We had the heaters that you could stand next to. So I go over to the heater. I'm standing there. Next thing, I start to smell something funny. I burned the hair off my arms, didn't even know it.
Because it was that cold.
That cold.
Allen was 2-2 against Purdue. Purdue was pretty decent in the 80s. You had a couple of good games. You rushed for 2 touchdowns, 69 yards, 11 carries in 1984. The previous year in West Lafayette, you rushed for a game-high 115 yards and a touchdown and 10 carries in a big 52-6 win. So you beat them your last 2 years, but they beat you your first 2 years.
Actually flip-flopped.
The other way?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, flip-flopped. The last time Notre Dame played Purdue in Indianapolis was 1984.
That's right. That's my bad.
So the importance of history is not to repeat it.
Yes.
So, yes, we did run into Jim Everett, and that was a good football team.
It was a close game, 23-21.
Yeah, of course, the game we played here, I think we had like 15 turnovers. So that's a good example of what turnovers will do, because we were a much better football team than Purdue. But Purdue got that confidence going, and we kept turning the ball over, and next thing you know, we end up with the loss.
Well, there's a historical footnote, and Tim's not here, so I can mention it, but Coach Faust had told Tim Brown he wasn't going to play. And then before the game, he says, you're returning the opening kickoff. And if you'll remember, because I did that game on WNU in South Bend, he fumbled the opening kickoff, picked it up, went to run with it, dropped it. Purdue picked it up and scored on the opening kickoff of the game, and you lost by 2.
That's right, and that's unfortunate, but I think he did much better.
No, you bounced back from
that.
adversity.
After that first
that's
game.
the last bad play I can ever remember Tim Brown making.
I can probably remember a couple of them, but
oh, really? Really? Okay.
Tough way to start.
Now you held the Irish rushing and scoring records when you graduated. You're still number 2 on the all-time rushing list. You're still number 1 on the all-time touchdown list. Now, were you surprised your rushing record lasted as long as it did?
Well, interesting story. Lou Holtz actually said to me after I got done with my eligibility, he said, Alan, as long as I'm coach, nobody will break your record because no one guy will ever get the ball that much.
Yeah, that's true. How many times did you carry against LSU?
40 times.
40 times.
Ball ain't
heavy. Down in Baton Rouge.
Ball ain't heavy. So I'll carry it as many times as necessary. But, yeah, I was surprised that the record lasted that long. And as each year went by, I felt, more proud of it, that it would last that long. But I knew it was going to take somebody toting the rock for 4 years in a row. So Autry Denson was the one that got it. But I still stand in protest because back then we didn't count the bowl game statistics. Mm-hmm. So if I threw in the bowl game statistics, that record's mine.
I think we should appeal to the Supreme Court of Football Rules and Statistics. You can hear Alan every week on the IMG Notre Dame Football Radio Network. WXNT Radio down here in Indianapolis is our affiliate. Tell me what you like about this team this year. Are you surprised that they're playing as well as they are on both sides of the ball?
I had optimism. The questions I had were on defense. But I got to tell you, that defense is so athletic and so fast. And, that's part of the reason why they lobbied to put in the field turf. You're not going to put in field turf and have other teams come in here and outrun you. So it was an acknowledgement that we had speed. And so it's so much more athletic. And I tell you, with Brian Van Gorder, that aggressive style of defense, really, really like that. And optimistic on offense, and I guess you can't say enough about Everett Golson, and he has entered the discussion for the Heisman Trophy.
And deservedly so at this point. By the way, Notre Dame has scored 79 points in their first 2 games. It's the most points Notre Dame has scored in its first 2 games of a season in 40 years. Ara Parsegian was the coach the last time they scored this many points. And we had a trivia question earlier. When they shut out Michigan last week, it was the first time in 365 games going back to 1984 that Michigan had not scored in a game. I mean, it's impressive football on both sides.
Well, you know, since that was the last game of the series, the best way to send Michigan off was with a goose egg.
All right. Alan, always a pleasure. And I love the way you coordinated your shirt with the hat.
Yeah, I'd coordinate. You know that.
Absolutely. Alan Pinkett, everybody.